Hello everybody in YouTube, and welcome back. It's Terry, and I am finally getting around to doing an update, collection update. Specifically, this will be probably end of 2020 for my orchids. Anyway, I'm going to start down here, and I believe I have most of them in here. I don't have any blooming out of the greenhouse, so this will be as complete as can be, barring I miss something. But I'll just start with this right now, which I had featured yesterday in my Orchid a Day video. But this is newly opened Potinara cross, San Damiano cross with chocolate drop. And on this plant, there are a couple more sheets there. Here's this one, and then there's another one somewhere down there. Down here are a couple of resting big cattleyas. This right here is my Memoria Fred Tompkins. And this one over here, I believe that is my Reuben Salada. Moving up here in this area, this is okay. So I'm not sure where I was at, but this is where I keep a lot of my resting deciduous, just resting plants. This is my Dendrobium falconieri. Next to that is my Bensonii, and then my pendulum is up there. It has lost its leaves. You can see they're brown, so it has stopped its growth. Yeah, in front here, this is that Dendrobium cross right here that's got all those kikis coming up on it. It does have a bud somewhere on one of the kikis that I had pointed out. There it is right there. But it is not the season for it to really be blooming. Other things up here, that is my Rhyncholalia glauca, which has growths that are maturing. This growth, and there's that other growth, and then there's a couple underneath here. In front here, that's my Dendrobium. It's probably a lot of Gesii, but there's also a ligophyllum on the plant somewhere. That should be blooming soon. On this section, that's my Dendrobium canaliculatum. This is my Laelia lundii. Still hoping that that is my BC North Miami. And this is my citrina, Encyclia citrina. It's Prostechia, I believe, or Eucale citrina. That's what that is. Yeah, I'm just sort of looking at some of these. Up here, this is my, why can't I think now? Psychillus, that's what it is, Psychillus. And this is another one here, which looks like it's dead. But that's pretty much what they look like. You can see it looks like that on the other side. They do get a dormancy in the winter. To the left here is my new Encyclia, no, it's an Epidendrum Parkinsonianum. It's now Colostylus. It's got these new growths that are over here. And there's one that's over back this way. And I'm holding this plant because it has got, look, it's got scale all down on the mount. So I might have to try bleach for this one. Over on this wall, more encyclias. There are some Brassavola, some Cattleya crosses. They still look pretty good, although they are resting. Back there is my Grammatophyllum, my Strapuliflorum, that's what that is, Staphyliforms, Formae, Florum. Anyway, there's a new growth coming out of the base there. That's Dan Nobile, that's just kind of sitting there. And as I've said before in my videos, this area is mostly resting things, bifoliates, some cattleyas that get a little bit of a winter's rest. This is where I have my angraecums, some of my angraecums, not all of them, but this is where I have, this is alabaster, and this is that cross right here. I went over these yesterday in my video. But in addition to that, let me straighten this up. This is, I believe that's that Kong, Young Kong. And I have Orontiacas here. I'm not sure, can't remember what that is, and I can't find the tag on that, but that's in sheath. But yeah, I have Orontiacas here. These are lemon, and then this is one with spots. Does have a sheath there. And the Orontiacas and the Guatemalensis, the Guarianthes, they all bloom from previous season's sheaths, and there's a few all over. Up here, this is a still developing plant. Although, yeah, that's a leaf there. It's got 3 growths that are progressing on the plant. Nice roots. Although there are still a few green tips in there if you look close. But it is still growing, so I have to water that heavily. Down here, I did say, well, let me back up this way because I skipped this section right here. Down here this is my Magdaleni, Greca Magdaleni, which I had all summer outside. And then there's this one up here, that's a Magdaleni. Right here is my Chysis aurea. It is maturing a couple new growths. This is recovering. It used to be very big, now it's recovering. Right here, this is my Guatemalensis. I believe this is the OJ. This is Guatemalensis OJ. And back here is my Dendrobium trigonopus. That's right there. These are winter bloomers. And yeah, this is my Barcaria skinneri that's about to pop any day. You can see the color is really there, that pink. And then down below here, this is another Barcaria, although it's a Bardendrum cross. Bardendrum terusan times Barcaria skinneri, and this is skinneri. And down below there, that is my Encyclia cochleata. That's got some buds there. That is a bulbophyllum that I mounted on this mount. Probably need some water. And I have some other various Brisavilla crosses there that are newly mounted, but still have nice roots going on. And yeah, and this is Stanhopea tigrina that is maturing its little growths that it put up for me this summer. It is really recovering. And tigrinas, I think they like a little bit of a rest. Now down below here, this is my Path Philippinense times Rothschildianum. What is that? That is Saint Swithin. That is what that is. These are my 2 Leuctone, LC Leuctone, that are down there. Right here, that's in sheath, is my Brasanthe Sunny Delight. It's just planted in rock, and it's got that sheath on it. What else? Back here, there's some encyclias. Let me see what this one is. I believe this one is Jungle, Orchid Jungle. It's not going to pull out. Looks like it's orchid something times, it's probably orchid jungle times rufa. And to the right here is a plant that should be putting up a spike. This is a deciduous. This is a Calianthe, Calanthe kryptonite times Calanthe vestida. So yeah, this should be at some point all of this foliage should die back. The leaves should brown, and then there should be a spike emerging from the base. It should. Let me see what else is of note. Nice growth on my adorable nishi. I believe that's what that is. Yeah, adora nishi. There's another growth back there on another adora nishi. And this is an epidendrum. I believe that's Epi rosita, which is a cross, like a magnolia cross, magnolini cross with Epi something, or Epi magnolii crossed with something. Maybe it's Persavala nodosa. But this is not looking so hot. This is my Prostechia livida, which bloomed for me last winter. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's getting too much sun, too much light. I did just put that light there, so that could be the problem, because I am noticing some yellowing through here. This is my very sad Angraecum Linford White Beauty that I'm not going to focus too much time on. Back here, this is my Maxillaria Ben Berlina. I've set it back here where it'll get drier, a little bit of a cooler, but still get good sun there. Moving up this way, this is where I keep my Sertorchis cross. That is the Arcuata crossed with Kailuana. You can see it there. Did bloom for me last summer. It looks okay, kind of beat up. Still okay. It's okay. It's dormant, slowing down. Up above here, that's my Schornorchis junkifolia. That's got some roots coming up. Got a few new growths that are developing. That likes a lot of water, daily water. Down below here, this is something that should be blooming sometime towards the end of the winter. That's my Fuchs orange. It's got a couple new growths that it did this summer. There's one, and I know there's another one in plant. They don't have sheaths though, so. But anywho, this is my BC Florida Stars right here. That's got that new growth. So that's a very exciting plant. And behind that is my Guarianthe guatemalensis. And there is the sheaths that I talked about. There's the tag there. Guatemalensis. Used to be Cattleya. And over this way, I just have more mounted encyclias and Persavala crosses. This is that LC Tokyo Magic crossed with Martha Clark that's got that sheath in it. This is my Akito Sato right here, still clinging to that mount. Yeah, just encyclias, Persavalas, Cattleya crosses. I lost this Angraecum. I still have this Arangus biloba here. This is my Scatianum that does not look great. I need to probably give it a bit more water. Actually, I'm going to move it. But down below, that's my Compactalina. That's a cross. That's looking pretty haggard and sideways, although this one is looking really nice. That is my, what is this? am I not? I can't remember it now, but it is Scotianum times something. I can't think of it. I need to think of that. But anyway, wait a minute. Maybe this is it. Here we go. Longiscot. Yes, Longiscot. Okay. Also back through here, I've got some. This is my Dendrobium Alexandri, one of mine. Then I have some other paths in here. This is my Michael Kupovich. Back here is my Lady Isabel. No, not Lady Isabel. Lady Rothschild. And then this is my Stonii. So yeah. And this is my Dendrochilum right here. That's one of the divisions of my Anceps. And here is my Dendrobium Forbesii with the new growth there. And then there are more new growths that are coming out around the plant. So I am very hopeful that maybe there's going to be roots. And over in this area I have more plants. And I actually can see that this needs to be looked at because you can see that scale right there. So I'm going to pull that down right now and move it over here. And let me just leave that there. This is my Longolina, no, not Longolina, Angraecum, well, here we go, Longicalcar. It still has that little kiki there that's growing, new leaf there, that's good. Right here, this is a relatively new acquisition, which is a replacement, the Oncidium splendidum, that's got the spike. And in front of it is Dendrobium Nora Tokunaga, looking so beautiful and has been in bloom for a very long time. Slight fragrance there. Laturia Dendrobium. Now up here is where I have my Ascocentrum hanging out, and then this is my Bepi Phoenix Kona up there. And then as I come down, I have a Galliandra that's hanging out there, but it's got nice new little growth that's maturing. Up there is my Leptotes. It's not bicolor, it is bicolor alba. That's got that new growth there. And that is my Herrera recticala. And this is my cross, the Paphanhopia cross. That's got these two new growths that are maturing. Now other things, what did I miss? Over this way, I missed my Sesquisquadale, my Angraecum, which is hanging out here for the winter time so far. Hopefully it'll do well there underneath this light. This Encyclia here has matured very nicely. Should be throwing up a spike at some point, as are these Cattleyas that are up here. This one does not look so hot. That's up here, but I will just let it be. We will see what happens to it. Yeah, and this is, what is this? Anyway, I believe that is another one of my Colostylus ciliare, which I have another one over here, which is Santa Barbara clone. Let me turn on this light. I don't know why my light is not on. They're all on a timer. But moving into this area, this is Dendrobium cross that has been so far successful on the mount, still putting up that growth, trying to mature this one. Actually, it feels like it has matured. Felt like there was something in there. But anyway, yeah, it is maturing, and it has just matured this growth. So we'll see if it's going to give me blooms. Hopefully it will. This is my pendulum, another one of my Den pendulum that should be in dormancy, and you can see that there's a little bit of scale there. So let me take this one down too. I think that's scale. Maybe not. Thought it was. See, when you look for scale, you see it when it's not even there. That's how it is. And anyway, let me just leave that there. Okay, moving on down. This is a resting Cattleya. This is Suncoast Wolf Leopard. That's got a couple new growths. That's another Laelia Ancept division. Right here is my area Javanica. That's got new growths coming out all over the plant. One there, and then down under there. There's a few. This is the area where I keep my Flickingerias. This is the newest one that I got from Andy, and then I've got this one here, which is Flickingeria Scopa, and then I've got this Flickingeria right here, and I'm not sure what that one is. I forget. Over this way, I forgot to point out, this is my brand new Sobenicopia Robusta. And I mounted it on one of these plaques. It's got really, really nice roots. I'm keeping it in shade here, sort of in the canopy of some of these other plants, and so I'm hoping that will do well there. That is an angracoid. In front of here is, of course, that's Stanhopea. It's labeled Stanhopea Rickenbachia. That's debatable. It's putting up new growths. It's put up that new growth. It's maturing it, and it actually is busted. You can kind of see right there. So it's kind of being propped up there. That's a BC Bonosa up there. And over here is a couple of my trichocentrums. This one is that Lily and Oka. That's a hybrid that bloomed for me. Well, it didn't bloom for me. It came with a spike. And then over here is another one that does not look so hot. These like dry, and I'm finding that they like more dry than even what I tend to water these because they're mounted, or give them more mist, and maybe I'm giving them a little much, because you can see some of these growths have not taken to it, whereas this one still seems to be okay so far. Anyway, here is that mounted Phalaenopsis cross. That's a Vandopsis cross, little one. I don't know what that is. But anyway, that's still looking okay. Watering it sparingly. It does like a little bit drier condition, surprisingly. Next to it is an in-bud Cattleya. That is Sundrops, Seagulls, SLC Seagulls, Gumdrops, I think. Yeah, Gumdrop, Chocolate Drop times Cernua. Yay. As I come down this way, this is my Dendrobium goldenaya. It is in dormancy, losing its leaves. It will soon become, it's a deciduous Dendrobium. And next to here is my mounted Andre Millar, Dendrobium Andre Millar. I'm hoping to get some blooms out of this plant. It's still putting up new growths though. There's a new growth there. To the left of here is my Gongora clavadora, which has one bulb on it. Needs probably more water, but I'm really doing the best that I can. Down here is Stanhopea cross. I believe it's Stevensonii crossed with Genishana. Yeah. So continuing over this way before I move back over against the wall. Down here is that Encyclia cross that I got at Equigenera a few years ago. It is Epidendrum jasminoides times that one that I can't pronounce. Has really, really nice flowers. Generally it blooms around this time of the year. and I am expecting it to. I hope that it will this fall, this winter into spring. It does have a few new growths still coming up. It's got this new growth. Looks like it's still putting up leaves. Well, it's not a new growth. It's a growth that has continued. And there's one right there. I'm not sure if that looks like scale or not. It requires a closer look for sure to look down in there. These produce sheaths at the top of the cane, top of the cane. They are a reed stem type epidendrum as opposed to some of the others. And they do produce a sheath, and then they bloom from that sheath. Generally only one time blooming. And then as I move down here, this is another species, an epidendrum species. This is my nocturnum that is mounted, and it is, wow, wait a minute. You see that little green sticking out there from behind there? That could very well be the start of a bloom, because unlike this epidendrum can continue to bloom from previously bloomed spikes. And in fact, as I look at this one, I can see it, you can see it more clearly on this one, because when I look at the side, you can see that it almost looks like a bud right there. That is what that is. That is a bud. And that is what I saw on whichever one it was. Right here. That little green. That's right here at the tip of my nail. You can see the change in the color there. That is what that is, a flower. Yay. So let me look at, oh, this one is still developed. No, that's actually the other plant. But yeah, so that looks like two of the canes have something that looks like it will be producing, or it's trying to bloom. This is bare mounted on this mount, and I can tell that it does need more water, because some of these newer growths are looking withered up. There used to be a new growth up in this area. You can see it right there. So this definitely needs more water. See, plants will tell you what it needs. Needs more water. This right here is a hybrid that is Louisia crossed with Paraphalaenopsis Linkaki, and it's put up that little kiki last summer. It didn't bloom for me, but it did bloom the year before, twice actually. And then as I move on down, this is my Cattleya chocolate drop that's mounted on one of those little brownies from Natalia. Next to this is my species Aranthes ramosa that I just got this week. This is my bifalcae, Dendrobium bifalcae. I have a couple of, you know what those are. That. And I have my wine. Okay. So I'm going to keep going. I'll not skip over this one. This is a species. This is another one of those trichocentrums that I love. It's Stacey. It's in this, and it gets watered every day. It likes lots of water while it's growing, and I think it's still growing. It is still putting up this growth that's right there, and also this one. These are my newly repotted bulbophyllums that I got last year at Hauserman. That one is, one of them is Shiro Kurizaki, and then the other one is that's Shiro Kurizaki, and this one is Kalimpong, and they both look pretty good. This one needed more watering. Shiro Kalimpong had the bigger growths on them. Both look really nice. Down below here is this is my Nigelia purpurea that I had just remounted on this mount. In October. It was on a mount. I took it off that mount and put it on this mount, and it's giving me new growths. Those are all new growths. So I'm hoping to possibly see spikes, maybe. Down there is my new bulbophyllum medusae. And this is Phalaenopsis. This is my Fastiosa. Over this way, this is my recently mounted bulbophyllum macranthum that I still don't see any roots going on it, but hopefully I will. My Daichia glauca looks horrible. I'm sure that's because it's getting a little bit of a mix of rain and some from the hose because I'm, being careless. Front here is my Schomburgki. That's my Epidendrum Schomburgki. This is another reed stem type. This is a species. Below here, well, it's not in bloom anymore, so I'll just skip right on past it. That's my Tetraspis. That was a mistake gift, and looks like that spike is getting ready to do something. That's my Toshiaoki Pizzazz. Up above here are some bulbophyllums. This one is Suncoast Aria Blush, which has got a new growth coming on it. Next to here is that's Mickey Mouse that I got from Bill Tom's, and then over here is Miyaka Stars. And then over here is another Brassavola. This is Mas Mayor. It's just coming into bloom, really. Yeah, the bud's not really even open all the way. Down below here on this ledge, this is my Maxillaria tenifolia. The newest growths are maturing themselves, the bulbs. So hopefully soon I'll be seeing some blooms, and back behind there, that's the Aria, that's the Yamada, the yellow one. So as we move down this way, I'm going to speed up a little bit because there's really not much going on. These plants here, these species will be blooming sometime soon. As you can see, the ends of the spikes are pushing a little bit outward. That one is for sure showing buds. It's all over the plant. This is the time of the year that it does that. This is Bastianii, and there's a little kiki of it up there that I potted up that's doing the same thing. This is my Jiminy Cricket that still has those sheaths on it, and there's another sheath right here. So we will see about that. This is the tag Superbug. This Phalaenopsis is still looking really nice. Still got spikes coming up on my that is amabile, Phalaenopsis amabile, and then there's buds are coming on more visibly on this plant, which is a hybrid. And yeah, this is gonna bloom pretty soon. This is my Fantastic Green Envy, which is putting out some roots down there at the base that you can see, which is great. And if you follow the cane down, you can see that it is also pushing forward as well. That looks like a little bud there. Still got those sheaths here on my BC daffodils, so those probably will be blooming sometime soon. As I look on this shelf, here is my Eranthes pyrati in bud, and there's another spike over here that's got a bud that's pushing through, and this spike right here, that little side shoot, possibly, no, it looks like it's browning, so that probably is dead. Right behind here is, this is my Maxillaria variabilis. That's pushing forward, looks like it's some new growths. Behind here is this is my Galleandra. I forget the name of it, and I'm not going to reach back there and get the tag right there. It starts with an M, but it is pushing that spike, which is good. Let me see anything else. This is going out. That's my Gulf String Beauty. And I need to remember to dump that out because you can see it sitting there in the water. Behind there is my Dendrobium senale, or senile. You can see right here, Mr. Hairy, as Roger fondly calls it. It still looks nice and green. Got the hair on it. It's getting misted. No fertilizer. Still happy. I'm happy that it's alive. Up here is another one of my dendrobiums that I'm kind of worried about. This is the, not Andre Millar, this is Gerald McGrath. And you can see how the canes are yellowing more. I just don't, I hope. That's all I can say about it. But sticking down here, below, back there is a Cattleya. Looks like it's got a nice new growth on it coming up. That is that Laelia anceps cross times Cernua that bloomed a little while ago. It's got new growth coming up there. Let's see. Yeah, this is my other Epidendrum nocturnum. This is a 4N. It's got a new growth here. Let's see what the tops look like. I think the other one looks like it's a little more. This actually was showing like it was going to bloom in the summer, but it never did. Up here, above here, I have, this is my Laelia canariensis, which gave me 4 new growths. It gave me 2 here, and then it gave me 1 right here, and then there's 1 on the other side. I don't see any signs that it's going to bloom for me. That's my Cruminatum, Dendrobium Cruminatum, that's just hanging out here. It still gets water. Not a rest period for that one. It is mounted. And yeah, this is my Leptotes tenuis, which has this flower on it. I don't think it's tenuis. I think it's something else. I think it's a cross between tenuis and Leptotes bicolor, I believe. Did have another bloom over there that's gone. Let's see here. Yeah, this is my Epilalia Cattleya Volcano Trick that has a couple new growths right here coming up on it. These are in semi-hydro, as you can see there. Probably needs to be dumped out. Yeah, maybe I should dump that out, but it's semi-hydro. There's 2 new growths, still has a lot to go. And next to here, this is my mounted, I guess it's probably Miltonia now, but it's a Phymatichilum, and it's still got that new growth hanging out back there. Up above here, that's my Trichoglottis philippinens, and that right there looks horrible. That is my Forbesii, Cattleya Forbesii. Looks terrible. And down here, this is my Gongora that just bloomed. It's got that really nice growth right there. Right there, that's not Fasciata, Rufrescens. There's another Gongora here, that's Chacoensis. And this one is Gongora grossa, that's got that nice growth, new growth coming there. This is my Cimbadella that I just got. And behind there is Encyclia species, or it's an Encyclia species. And then behind there further, I have a couple of Bulbophyllums back there. And then for the most part, the remaining plants are Bulbophyllums with the exception of my Urea right there. And then I have my Dendrobium Johnsonis, which are kind of hanging down there, half dead. But the rest are Bulbophyllums that I got from Bill Tom's. The majority of them are, I should say. Still looking good. They've been repotted. And they hang out down there. And this is my Eranthes grandiflora that has been recently repotted in there. As I move on down here, this is where I put my Bulbon, which is now, I think, Dendrobium. This is where I have the plant sitting. It is directly under the fan, gets nice breeze, as does the majority of these plants do. Let me see here. This is where I have more Angraecums. This is my George Kennedy cross. And then I have my, this is my Biramense right here. And this is my Eichlerianum. And then behind here, that's Joyce Stewart, Angraecum Joyce Stewart, that has a couple of little baby growths coming up. But nothing really going on there. I do have a sheath down here, which is on my LC Fire Dance, which, if that blooms, that'll be very nice. It should bloom. They can bloom from dried sheaths as well, so just got to make sure that it gets no water or no drips down from it. Next to it is my Prostechia bacalis, which I need to give it a little bit more water. I am hoping that these sheaths will someday fill up for me that are down here. And there's another sheath. But anyway, it is a spring bloomer, and it's putting up new growths around the base. Like right here is a new growth, and then there's a few more over there. This is very fragrant flower here. It looks just like radiata. Yeah, this is plants are just hanging out kind of dormant. This is my tropical pointer here. That's the latest growth that it gave me last summer. Down here, this is my Heracoglossum, and this is my Tortilla. And this is, of course, my Sergio Arara, which is that cross, Rene Marquez times Potinara Free Spirit. And what is this plant? Martin Wolf times Florida Stars. And if I look back over this way, down here, I just sprayed this as my Vida Lee that bloomed for me. It had some scale on it, so I'm not putting it in the mix of the plants. It usually sits up here, but now it's sitting down here for now until I can get the scale under control. But in the meantime, this is my Phalaenopsis venosa, smelling so nice. Behind there is that Maxillaria Maui coconut. That is a cross that's kind of recovering. I thought it was going to be dead, but it's still coming up from the base. And then I have a couple of paths here that are crosses, and then here's my Podangus. That's what that is. Okay, and of course I have more fails up here. That's the Bellina. This is the Dragon King, I think. No, KS Eagle. Yeah, and this is the Coda Twinkle. And I'm gonna get some blooms pretty soon on my, this is my BC peach bird. And these are the first two of the sheaths to open. There are a few more around the plant. I think I counted 5. But they'll be pushing on later. Actually, I can see, yeah, there's more buds over there behind there. So it'll be giving me a nice show, hopefully soon, because we have our meeting next Sunday, the iOS, and I'm actually going to be doing a little, running one of the rooms for discussion, probably from this space. But what I'm showing you right now is my cross of, I think it's called Christmas something, Christmas candle. It's Magdaleni crossed with Linford White Beauty. Kind of gets a somewhat of a rest, a cooler rest, although this is warm greenhouse. And I'm just flicking off the dead leaves. Down here, I don't know what's going on. I've never been able to, some of them look okay. This is, starts with an L, La Carcia. A couple of them here, but they just, this one looks okay. Looks like it's got some new growth coming. This one, on the other hand, just looks like it's wanting to just give up. I'm not sure. On this wall over here, this of course is my, the infamous wall of jungle, where there's the jungle eagles and other jungles and some Brassavola hybrids, things just kind of hanging out. There's my Docrilla cucumberinum, likes it cooler and drier in the winter. I'm not giving it cooler really. And that's another Brassavola hybrid up there. So, and right here in front of me is a Angraecum species. This is Angraecum birmense. And I have another birmense. No, that's infundibulare. I have a birmense, which is right here. These are all related. Reed stem, not reed stem, but vining Angraecum species. Previously bloomed, as you can see. Gets little white flowers with little cups. Kind of looks like a path in a way, but it's an Angraecum. Has a little cup flower. Single flower to a spike. Fragrant at night. Up over this way is another Angraecum species. This is my Florentulum that I was talking about yesterday. That is reputedly one of the most fragrant Angraecums. And to the left of here is my Jumelia fragrans. And this plant has been used to make tea from. Spent blooms and from the leaves, I believe, as well. Anyway, on this shelf down here is this is my adorable upwind here that doesn't look like much, but this is my adorable upwind, and then next to that is my mean Garuda. Both of those bloomed for me. Almost done, folks. Here is that cross that bloomed for me this summer. This is the Yellowbird times Keweenee Mendenhall. It was sitting up high, and I'm thinking that it didn't like the coldness of the roof, so I moved it down a bit. Hopefully it'll be okay. Back over this way, I just have some more Brassavolas, hybrids, and some species over here. Yeah, this is my Cordata. That's my Perini. I really should have already put another panel on the wall there so that it completely blocks the heater from any of these plants getting any whiff of that hot air, because it doesn't do them any good. Some of them have gotten damage, but I really should do more to protect it than I have even now. because I just should, and I probably will, but that's on my list. Back over here hanging out is a plant that has bloomed for me. That's my Rhincarides Tainoi crossed with, well, it's now Vanda vietnamica, and it looks horrible, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It will come back. I really need to figure out a way to mount that better because this was what it was on, and it's not on it anymore. It's just kind of dangling there, hanging by that chain. Let me see, what is this Persavla? Is there a tag on it? Oh my God, there's not a tag. That's terrible. Anywho, this right here is my Irides odorata that just bloomed so beautifully. And this is another Vanda type that is a cross Premote. That over there is my Den Disc Color. Then up here I have my Perenni crossed with Chocolate Drop. Up here I have my another species Epidendrum polyanthum. And then there's a species up here which doesn't look so hot. But those are old growths. That is my Colostylus falcata. No, it's a Colostylus. And last but not least, this is my Dimorphorchis lowii. And that little growth is still progressing. And here I have a couple of Den Nindies species. And Epidendrum illens. I believe it's probably still endangered, extinct in the wild because it was over collected. Look how it's glistening. It's fragrant. And as I said before, it blooms off of canes as long as they stay green. There's more back there to come. Very nice thing to have. Likes lots of water right there. Likes lots of water. Back there, that's my Colmarie, Vanda Colmarie, which has never bloomed for me, but it's still alive. It's still trying. And back over here, that's my Nemoria wallisii, and then I have another Nemoria wallisii right here, which is still putting up growth. And then I have various dendrobiums here, my big epidendrum here. There's my Den Kaneko, and some other things as well. And then here's my Den Goldenaya. No, not Goldenaya. Gatun Sunray. That's what that is right there. That's got those two new growths. Actually, there's three there. And then below that, behind that, on that it's hanging on is a Silogene cristata, which should have been dead. And speaking of Silogenes, the last plant I will show, this is my Silogene multiflora, which is giving me these nice growths. I am really hoping to get blooms. We'll see. So that is my update, folks, for November, December 2020, the end of 2020 update. Thank you all for watching so much. Thank you for your support, all of you, each and every one of you. Thanks to all my new subscribers. But most important, enjoy your orchids, folks. Bye. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you something else. You know, I removed these plants because they had some scale on them, and they are in need of a spray, especially this one, because it was completely covered in scale. You can see it's going to take me a while of concentrating, but that's another video, I think. But one thing that I wanted to include was that when I was carrying this out, when I brought it in here, did not realize that there was a flower on it. Had no idea. There it is. Din, Julie, skilling corn, or Dockrilla. Nice stripes on the back. Definitely. So anyway, folks, thanks for watching again.